Hi everyone, welcome. FPLMattDay here, and this is my Game Week 37 best differentials. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Be sure to give the video a like and get any questions and comments in ahead of a massive double game week. Before I start as well, if you haven't done already, go and check out my favorite team selection. I've got that video ready as well, so go check that out on the channel, and that gives you all my thoughts if you're on a free hit, wildcard, or bench boost. But we'll share screen and we're going to start from 5 all the way down to number 1. And these are the differential picks that if you pick them and they fire and do well, it's going to give yourself a nice, hopefully healthy green arrow and a big boost to get you ahead in those mini leagues. So let's go to my number 5 pick, and it's with Newcastle. Players are returning from injury for Newcastle right about now, and they've got a double game week with the Brighton at-home fixture and the Man United away fixture. It's a pretty strong double on paper when you think about Brighton have been quite out of form over the last few months, and we know all about Man United with their recent 4-0 defeat against Crystal Palace. So Nick Pope is now back in training. He is tipped to start both games, well, at least the first game against Brighton at home, which then you'd make you think that he would then start that United fixture as well, warms him up ready for that. But there is some risks associated with this. Obviously, he is just coming back from a long-term shoulder injury, but he's been fully training. A lot of Newcastle fans expect him to come in. He's only 4.8% owned. If you're on a bench boost and are looking for that second goalkeeper option, then Nick Pope could be your man. And then he also faces Brentford away in game week 38, which could be a nice away win for Newcastle to see out the season with plenty of saves and a clean sheet maybe from Pope. So for me, Pope is number 5. We'll go into my 4th pick, and we're going to go to Brighton. I think we obviously just spoke about Brighton's form not being so great, but we've got to pick a player from here for the double game week because we haven't really spoken enough about them this season, with obviously likes of Matoma being out long term. We've got Ferguson who's out. You know, they've had some really strong picks throughout FPL this season and last season, but yeah, they've kind of not really been on anyone's radar for this double game week. So I'm going to bring up Pascal Gross, who's hit 4.5 points per match this season, 4.2% owned. If you have a look here, his last return was a while ago, all the way in game week 28 against Nottingham Forest. His double game week is Newcastle and Chelsea. Newcastle being away and the Chelsea game being at home. But if we look here throughout the season, he's had some success at times. 10 points against West Ham, 10 points against Manchester United early on, and there was a good run of form as well. 9 points game week 13, 12 in game week 15, 7 in game week 16, and then a good run of form as well here from game weeks 23 to 26 with 11, 10, 8 and 7 points. So he's someone that has delivered during the season before. You know, we know what he's capable of, especially when he can get potentially a penalty behind him. So for me, at 4.2%, big differential going into this week. Surely Brighton, after their good win at home to Villa last week, can look to pick up form again, because if you look before that, it has been pretty dreadful. So let's go into my 3rd pick. And this pick, for me, he needs to be considered a lot more throughout the season, but also in these double game weeks. And it's from Manchester City, and it's Rodri at 6% owned. And the good thing about Rodri is if you look at it here throughout the season, he plays pretty much most weeks. Look, we have seen it historically in the past in a double game week where Rodri has actually been, I think, sent off, and there's been a big disappointment there. If you have a look here, we'll scroll back to the previous double game week in 25, 10 points against Chelsea and 3 points against Brentford, which gave him a 13-point return in that double game week. This one, Man City have the Fulham away and the Spurs away game. And it's just such a typical game for Rodri to grab a goal, even in game week 38 with West Ham, you know, getting an important goal in a title race. 10 points against Wolves in game week 36. 12 points in game week 31 against Villa, 10 points in game week 27. We spoke about the one with Chelsea, 10 in game week 22, 10 in game week 20. There are so many times. Game week 3 against Sheffield United, game week 1 against Burnley. We've seen Rodri score big this season, and it's 6% owned. Really good third Man City pick if you want to try something a bit different for your side. So let's go into my second differential pick, and we're going to go back to the team we started with Newcastle. And this was my number one differential pick last week, and he did return. He's my number two this week at 3.1% owned. It's Bruno Guimaraes, and as you can see there, he's got 4 returns across his last 5 matches. If you look here, game week 36, 9 points, game week 35, 8 points. If you can replicate something like that this week, you're getting yourself 15 to 20 points. And he's such low owned as well. So if you're kind of shying away maybe from that Newcastle defense, because they have let in goals more often than not this season, then you can see yourself maybe with a Gordon, Bruno, Wilson, Isaac type of triple up. And for me, I think Bruno is a great pick in that midfield position. So let's go to my number one differential pick. We're going to go to a team that's been out of form lately in terms of results, Spurs, who have 2 home games in this double game week. And it's got to be this man here, Richarlison, who's now returned back to the Spurs lineup. I say that he didn't start in game week 36, but I'd say he's 95% guaranteed to start against Burnley this week. I think the stat is 11 goals in 18 starts for Richarlison this season, which is absolutely phenomenal. We look at all these games here. He started without Son, and he was scoring most weeks, 2 double-digit returns amongst that as well. So we know what he's capable of, especially when he's in that centre forward position. Son will drift out to the left. He's 6.8 million, 3.1% owned, and a lot of managers will be waiting on the Bruno Fernandes news, and they'll be looking at this man as the ideal replacement if Bruno Fernandes is ruled out of game week 37. Burnley home, you expect him to come out of that one with a goal or even 2, and even the City game, he can cause them problems, and then you get Sheffield United away in game week 38. For me, Richarlison is playing for his place at Spurs, so he is a player that I think is really hot for this game week, which puts him number one in my differential picks. So there you have it. They are my best differentials for double game week 37. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Look out for all of the shorts that come from now until deadline, and also check out my team selection for this week in the videos. That is my favorite team for this game week. If you're on a wild card, if you're on a free hit, or if you're on a bench boost, sort of the best players as a squad to get in your team. But we'll leave it there. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. I'm FPLMattDay, and I will see you all in the next one. Good luck for game week 37. Bye for now.